I have a friend. I talked about him on a previous episode. He makes dating content on TikTok. He was crushing it. His videos were getting 300,000 views per TikTok. He was posting them daily. They didn't take him a lot of time. 300,000 views, 400,000 views. His most viewed one, I think, is up to 6 million views. And he was really crushing it. He was growing so fast. He was growing by 1,000 or 2,000 followers every day. And then he took a break. He took a 5-day break, and people stopped watching his stuff as much as they did when he came back. Now his views on average are getting between 10 and 30,000 views. And I was thinking about why this happens. I was wondering if it's related to social media algorithms, because other creators say the same things. Other creators say that when they take a break and they come back, the views drop off a lot and the consistency matters. And I'm trying to think about why this is. And I'm wondering if it's because of the algorithms or because of human nature. And I have come to the conclusion that it is actually more about human nature than it is algorithms. I think when you release decent enough content every day, people are habitual. People like to develop habits, especially if it's around something that is distracting them, like entertainment, like watching content. This specifically, especially with content. People want to distract themselves with their problems. They have shows that they tune into every day or every week in order to do that. And when you post every day, your content becomes a habit that people use to distract themselves. And then when you stop posting, people forget about your brand and they find other things. And unless your content is really amazing, like people are really waiting for it, it's going to be hard to get that retention again. You have to build up the consistency again. And that's why taking breaks in this nature is so dangerous. I'm thinking about movies too. I think movies are a pretty good analogy. So especially with like sequels, you have a great first film and then 3 years later you have a sequel. And what does the studio do for that sequel? It puts a huge marketing budget towards the sequel to remind people why they were bought in to the franchise in the first place, why they care about the sequel, because people forget. People forget. And even a few days is enough to make people forget about your brand and really crave it like they do when they build up a habit of viewing your stuff or reading your stuff or listening to your stuff. In my case, I have a daily podcast. I have daily videos. So watching my stuff and viewing my stuff every day. I actually don't think I make videos on TikTok every day. I think my content is mediocre. When it started, it was awful. Now I'm up to mediocre. So that's pretty good. And I think I'm getting better and better every day. And every one of my videos gets at least 1,000 to like 1,200 views. And I think it's a lot of the same people who's watching my stuff. And I think the reason that they do it is because they have developed habits around me, around my brand. And they say, okay, I want to see what Edward did today. It's just going to take a minute. His videos are always under a minute. I want to see what his video is today. And people develop habits around brands. And when you stop, it's so dangerous. And seeing my friend's failure, because I actually think his dating content is pretty good. Seeing this failure of how people just become apathetic when you stop posting for a few days, it's really a lesson for anybody who's trying to build a brand and being consistent. Is that like, even if you feel like you're putting something out that is under average on any given day, I actually would say you should do it. You should do it because you will learn, and you should do it because you will still stay top of mind with the people who are consuming your stuff. Consistency is so important for so many reasons. You get better every day. You improve over time. You get that top of mind awareness. You unlock opportunities if you're being vocal. It is the most powerful force in the universe. And seeing what has happened to my friend when he stopped being consistent is just a very strong reminder of how important it is. You should also develop things that allow you eventually to take breaks. This is the other thing that I want to talk about in episode 70 of The Edward Show, is you should develop things that allow you to take breaks. What do I mean by that? You should have, if you are a brand, if you are a company, you should have an email list. My friend, he's young. He doesn't understand how important emails are. You should have an email list so you can remind people when you release new stuff. If you want to take a long break, you can still remind your most ardent followers, hey, I'm back. I'm back. Here's my newest content. You should have an email list. You should have ways to remind people, because if you stay off for a while, the algorithms will not push your content as strongly when your newest piece of content comes out. Not always. And even if they do, people might have forgotten how much they love your brand in the first place, and so they just might not care to consume it or consume all of it. That's going to be seen as a negative ranking signal, as a negative engagement signal, and then the algorithms won't push your content out to the rest of the people. And then the final way that you can become immune to this, but this is hard. The final way that you can become immune to this is to just make masterpieces like Pixar. Pixar is a good example. They make masterpieces. At the beginning of now, Pixar is trash. I mean, some people might disagree. I think the new Pixar is trash. I think the Pixar when I was growing up with Toy Story and Monsters Inc. and Bug's Life, that was legendary. Pixar had this brand. You knew that whenever they released a movie, you had to go see it. They could wait. They could have like a 3-4 year cycle. They wouldn't even need much marketing. Oh, Pixar's releasing a movie. I want to go see that. And there's a podcast that I follow. It's How to Take Over the World. Every episode is fire, but the episodes are released very infrequently. The problem with that is, unless you have a lot of experience creating content, you might think that something you're gonna spend days or weeks on a piece of content and then it flops. And in my career, like early on YouTube, we would go viral all the time. And then we would think we were like such hot stuff, and we would spend very long on a new piece and put a big budget behind it, and way longer than we normally do, and then it would flop. And we didn't fully understand people. We didn't fully understand people like we thought we did. And so I think that's dangerous. I like putting out content frequently. I think that's a lot more safe. I think it's a lot more safe. It's a lot easier to grow, to put out a piece of content every week, every day. Let people build habits around your brand. That's why people release their content at the same time whenever they release it. I don't do that, but I might do that. I'm thinking about doing that. I could do that. I use this tool. It's called reusevideo.com. Amazing tool. It makes it so whenever you put out a piece of media on one platform, it comes out on every other platform. I talk about it all the time. It is a hack. If you're new to this podcast, maybe you haven't heard me talk about it, but it is a complete growth hack. You can put out a video on TikTok and then it'll come out on IG Reels and YouTube Shorts and Twitter without the TikTok watermark. You can put out a video on IG Reels. It'll come out on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok and on Twitter. And it's amazing. And they put in a new feature that allows you to schedule the time that your content comes out. The problem with me is I make a video every day, but I don't do it at the same time. Sometimes I make it in the morning. Sometimes I make it late in the evening. I guess what I could do is I could schedule my content to come out at like 11:59 each day. Maybe do something like that. Maybe I could do something like that. But yeah, I think actually I might do that. That's a pretty cool idea. I just came up with that on this pod. I mean, that's a very common thing, and I didn't realize why that was important until recording this podcast, because people want to build habits around your brand. And having your content release every day, every week. My email newsletter comes out every Sunday, edwardsturm.com/newsletter. Comes out every Sunday. Letting people build habits around your content, around your brand, I think is really powerful. And what happened to my friend is a good lesson for why it matters and what could happen if you stop being consistent. That's it. This is episode 70 of The Edward Show. I do this every day. If you're listening every day, thank you so much. I put work into these. I hope you enjoy it. I was journaling for a little bit right before recording this to come out with the best ideas. I'm actually writing so much. I'm figuring out a lot of new stuff with Twitter X ads, and I realized if you might have started listening because of the revelation that I had about Twitter X ads. I made a viral piece of content. It was a viral TikTok, but it went viral in other places as well, about how I'm getting millions of impressions and thousands of clicks for under $1 every day on Twitter X ads. And I realized that if you are really, I said at first that you want to have very simple short ad copy. And now I'm realizing that if you are really specific in your ad copy, you'll have more conversions and you'll have a lower CPC. I'm not 100% on this yet. I'm still testing it. I'm going to run a lot more tests today. I've actually paused all of my ads. I only have one ad running on Twitter X now. I paused them all this morning, and I'm going to start new campaigns today. And I'm going to test this. But so far, my CPCs have been crazy low, like $0.0001 per click. So that is literally 1/100th of a penny. That's what I've gotten it down to. But the conversions haven't been great. But I have a theory. I think that's on the creative. I'm using this diamond mouth that I talk about, this diamond mouth 3D animation that I talked about for the creative. So I think the creative could improve as well. So I'm running all these tests. I'm really excited. Then the other thing is I put up this, oh my God, there's so much that I'm doing every day. So many different marketing tests that I'm running every day. If you like the marketing tests, let me know. And I'll just keep on sharing my progress. Like, that's one of the things that I want to do with the show is I do so many different tests to figure out what works and what doesn't. And then if I could save everybody time by them not having to figure it out themselves, I'm happy to do so. I tried these different engagement hacks with a TikTok video that I made yesterday, and some of them worked really well and others did not. But the one that worked the best, and I changed it. So there's the greatest TikTok of all time, Interesting Truth. Interesting Truth, put it into TikTok. It is amazing how it hacks engagement. It's doing like $2.7 million a year, 212 million views a month. And I was looking at the videos and figuring out why they did so well. One of the things I talked about this on yesterday's episode is it uses lines to get people to interact with the videos in positive ways. One of those lines is, did you know that TikTok knows who has a crush on you? Press the share button and then WhatsApp, and the second person that appears on WhatsApp is the person who has a crush on you. That's a very long version of the line because I don't remember it exactly. And so what I said is, did you know that TikTok knows who your ideal business partner will be? Because I was making videos about interesting business facts, and I was able to get people to share. So I said, who your ideal business partner will be? Press share, then WhatsApp to see who your $1 billion founder will be. And that worked really well. I got a lot of shares for this video. TikTok thinks that I got a lot of shares for this video, but I think the video itself did not match my audience as well as I wanted to. And so I'm going to try this again, giving instead useful business tools. That's something that I think my audience really likes. That's something that I found that they really like. And so I'm going to do it again, giving useful business tools, like 5 useful business tools. And then I'm going to work in that share part. So I'm going to have the engagement for the tools, and I'm going to have the share. And then I'm going to take out, I think, the rest of the engagement hacks, because the share one works really, really, really well. The other reason this worked is because this was a great fact. This was a great like engagement hack, getting people to share by telling them that they can find their ideal business partner by sharing. But the other reason it worked very well is it was the second I paid attention. I was mimicking the video from Interesting Truth. I was mimicking the video that did it really well and got 73 million views. And it put this share fact command disguised as a fact as a second fact. It was like right at the beginning of the video. So that's the other reason that it worked really well. But it really worked well. A lot of people shared this video that I made. And it worked well on every platform. The video did above average on every platform. I would say except for TikTok. And I can't say, I think it's just because my audience on TikTok is more developed. That might be why. I think my audience on TikTok is the most developed. And so that's why the video didn't work the best. But everyone was sharing it on every platform. So that line, did you know that... the new line that I'm going to use is, did you know that WhatsApp knows who your ideal business partner will be? Tap on, to find your next $1 billion founder, tap on share, then WhatsApp, and the second person that appears is that person. It's something like that. All right, now I'm really ending the show. I got to go on somebody else's podcast. This is an exciting day, I don't even know, it's a Wednesday. Exciting Wednesday. Hope you're enjoying my energy. I just had a nice cup of black coffee. I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. Bye now.